hectic weekend here. That's really kind of funny. I mean, I know you guys have all heard of, the delay in broadcasting and stuff, but I activated this before I started talking. Almost 30 seconds later, this screen activated and started showing the live, and then 20 seconds later, this screen activated and started showing the live. And it's funny how, there's a delay, but there's even a delay between the receivers. Oh, let's see here. Yes, day off. Eyes back to normal. No, no, not back to normal yet. The right eye is still holding wrong. Early mornings are terrible. Any kind of bright light. I mean, I sit here in the dark. The only light I have is off this screen first thing in the morning. This one here is slowly getting better, but since they got the cataract out, I went back to the doctor last week, and they said that they're detecting neuropathy. Yeah, I got neuropathy in my eye. It's a constant thing. Retinopathy, diabetic retinopathy. So they extended out the time period that I've got to use the medicated drops to see if it clears up the retinopathy. I got to go back and see it in September. And they said if it's not cleared up or it's gotten worse, then we'll discuss alternative plans. But yeah, it's still very blurry. Even having these glasses on, like I can see the video, or I can see the live moving, but even the large print under the video, I've got to really concentrate hard to be able to read it. The smaller print in the chat, no, I still can't read it. I mean, things are clearer, but I mean, I don't have that HD thing as much anymore, where all the whites are super bright and all the darks are darker. But as for the clearness of it, no, not there. All right, let's see here. Good morning, Tony. Good morning, Cher. Hope you guys are doing good this morning. No, you're fine, honey. You're not late. Stop apologizing so damn much. You're not late. At least there's a plan, and you can ditch the eye patch. I got so used to the bloody eye patch, man, that I feel weird not wearing it. Now, I was out all day Saturday, which, by the way, I got home almost midnight Saturday night from our beach bash down here at the beach and everything, and done some great filming. I was sat up the whole day from like a few minutes after 11 Saturday morning until almost 11 o'clock Saturday night, and I paid the price yesterday not having an eye patch. I mean, I even had my sunglasses on, and it was so warm and so bright out there, even under my pop-up, that I paid the price all day yesterday. I mean, I sat here, both eyes were kind of messed with, being out in the sunlight and stuff, especially when I walked out from under the fly or under the pop-up to film the band and to walk through town I got quite a few people to stop by and grab business cards. They wanted to talk about uh, paranormal investigation. They wanted to talk about. I had people stop and ask me about performing, officiating their wedding ceremonies for them. I've got one, as a matter of fact, supposed to be coming up just here in a few weeks. Um, and we're going to be doing it down here at the Log Cabin Museum to completely remodel that whole area. Um, Everything to the north of the log cabin, they've got like a large concrete deck with a fire pit. They've got brand new shelter built over with a patio overlooking the lake. They landscaped everything down there. So I'll be conducting a wedding. That's where Steph and I got married 10 years ago. Coming up here in what 17 days is our 10-year anniversary. And we got married down there under the old shelter on the deck that was out over the lake. And now here I am a decade later officiating a wedding almost on the same grounds that the wife and I did a decade ago. So let's see here. Cold, good. How are you? What is cold in Australia? I mean, you guys are like, I think you're worse off than Santee is in Arizona, being down there, much closer to the equator and stuff. Um, I've heard people talking about, especially my friend over in England. He talks about, being cold, and or even worse. Even here, I'll give you an even worse one: being warm. Oh my God, it's so warm here, mate. I don't know what we're gonna do. And I wish places would sell air conditioners here like you guys have in the States. And I'll be like, well, what's your temperature? Oh, it's like 70 degrees here, man. It's sweltering. We're dying here. I'm like 70 degrees. I used to wear a Levi jacket in Texas at 109. Summer wear was a long sleeve shirt with a t-shirt on under it and a pair of jeans. Winter wear was a windbreaker with a t-shirt. Let me see here. It's only 5.5 months till summer. Not that I'm counting. No, you don't sound anxious at all. Nine sounds like a great time. Yeah, I was actually very blessed. I need to get new business cards. I emptied my business card sleeve out. I must have handed out 50 or 60 business cards on Saturday. But it's the old 5-year-old business card. Way back when we had the buffalo as our symbol. It's just business cards. But people kept asking, do you have a business card? Do you have a business card? Where do you post your videos? Blah, blah, blah. And so I just wrote all the information on the back, very unprofessional. But it's, you cannot appreciate winter until you've been working outside with a minus 40 wind chill. Tony, I have been there, bud. Here just a few years ago up here, a few winters ago, we had minus 55 wind chills. And I was out shoveling. Shoveling for our old retired school teacher over here across the street, because the people couldn't get out to come out and plow and shovel sidewalks and stuff. The wife wanted me to bust open the end of the driveway out here where the snow plows came through and plowed it closed. So, I saw poor old Miss Hoyt looking out her front door at all the snow, and I held up my shovel, and I'm like, old girl come walking out in the snow knee deep, tried to pay me, and I kept telling her, nope. I shoveled the sidewalk all the way around her house, up to her front door, her entire driveway, and all the way from the garage up to her back porch. Because, she had to get out and go to church. God forbid somebody from the church that actually drives a 4x4 would come and pick her up. But no, she had to get her little Buick out and drive it to church. So. But yeah, I've been there with that minus 40s and 50s and stuff. And back then it didn't really bother me all that much. But here later on, I'm sure it probably would. And I'm not looking forward to this winter if this isn't any better, because that sunlight reflecting off the ice crystals and the snow and stuff. No, that's not sounding or feeling or looking fun at all. It's single digits tonight, but it gets colder where I am. I live up in the ranges, and it feels like it's snowing at the resort tonight. The other night we had a temperature of 8 degrees Celsius and wind gusts 90 kilometers per hour. Tony, you are my mathematician, fully operating brain and everything. What is 8 degrees Celsius? I think it would have been so much easier if they would have just made Celsius and kilometers universal. That way, when we're sitting down and we're talking to friends or family that live someplace that don't do Fahrenheit and miles, that, we don't have to do all the math to convert everything. I mean, even for us here in the States, we cross the border. I keep pointing that way. I'm so used to the desk sitting over here. I mean, even when we cross the border, we go right from Fahrenheit to Celsius, right from miles to kilometers, 46. So yeah, I'm still 46 degrees. I'm still going outside with just a real light long sleeve shirt. Wow. But yeah, it was a very, very good weekend. I worked all day long in here yesterday, getting the video. Of course, that's humorous. That is a very, very humorous story right there. And I wish I would have known it was going to be like that before I posted the video, and I would have put something in the video about it. But let me see here. Hello, Sarah. Hope you're doing good, beautiful. I think the coldest I have been outside working was minus 23. That is actual, not wind chill. Brr. Brr. That's what I say to your minus 23. Brr. If I wanted to go outside and work in temperatures like that all the time, I would live in a dome. It'd be only fitting. A guy that does what I do for a pastime living in a place named after a supernatural creature. No, like I said, I done a lot of recording. Saturday, I would sit under the pop-up a little bit, and then I would hide anything and everything that I didn't want, to walk off while I was gone. And I'd take, my rig, and I'd walk through the festival, walk through the beer garden, down past the brand new amphitheater that they put in, and down by the stage, walk out the boardwalk, and yeah, I got the video all. I'm sorry, I can't help it. I can't help but laugh at it. I got the video all posted, and it was looking really good. Now you guys know Tyler, TJ. He's been part of this group since its inception, and when he took up his music career, Tyler gave me exclusive rights to use any of his music that I wanted to use in any of our videos, and even though I've got 40 minutes, 30 minutes of the band playing. Now understand, Blammo was the band. They do nothing but cover songs. And I got the video posted after working on it all day. And for 3 hours, the only song that got a copyright hit was one of Tyler's songs. I messaged him last night. I'm like, this don't make you laugh. Everybody says that a copyright holder has to put a copyright against someone. YouTube don't do that on their own. That the copyright holder, the owner of the property, has to put a copyright against somebody. That's not true. That is absolutely, positively not true. Because I have got Tyler's express permission to use any of his music. And the one of 3 songs that I put in that video as filler music got copyrighted. But Queen, Journey, God, what? A lot of up-to-date modern country music. None of it got copyrighted until 11 o'clock last night, when they just happened to copyright "Don't Stop Believing" from Journey. And out of 20 songs, that was the only one to get copyrighted. So, yeah. -7 is my coldest. I don't know if I could go one of your winters. It would be rough. It would be rough when you're not used to it. Because, a lot of places, now I don't know about Australia being so close to the equator, but I know for like England or Ireland, France, I don't know where the snow band actually starts and where it ends, but I know that I know a lot of people from over across the pond. They have a very hard time with all the snow we get because they don't get any. If they do, they get a dusting. But you guys have the super, or what you would consider a super cold temperature with a dusting of snow. Where here, what you guys are considering to be super cold, it's not even cold enough to snow. So, yeah, I don't know I know that my friend Alan, up between London and the Scottish border, he don't even want to attempt to come here in the wintertime. He don't even like coming here in the summertime because it's so bloody warm. But he'll come March, April, and stay for 2 or 3 weeks, and then go back home because we're in that 50s, low 60s, and it's nice and comfy for him. He has been, however, like really surprised that our summers are not all rainy and cool, and windy. It's like, yeah, I'm thinking that England is like right on that. Not quite snow, not quite warm, so you're stuck in the middle with just a bunch of crappy rain. Usually those big snowy events precede a brutal cold front. Depends on how you acclimate to cold. Yep. Yummy. Oh, by the way, if you guys can hear that hum in the background, I had to put a sock on this because I don't have a dead cat big enough to go on the microphone. So I had to grab one of the wife's little ankle socks and put it on there. But if you guys can hear the hum in the background, it's already 70 degrees here. It's been 70 degrees since I woke up at 5 o'clock. And here it is 3 hours later, and we're still right at 70 degrees. So, yeah, I got the fan on right back here behind the camera. So, if you guys can hear the hum, and it's really annoying. Sorry. What's up, kitty? No, I can't use that. I completely, totally apologize for the annoying which is occurring behind the camera and may be picked up on my audio transmitting devices. Here the snow starts in north southwest near toward the border, higher altitudes up and out around those areas. It gets good snow. We've got world-class ski resorts here in New South Wales and Victoria. It's 77 here, and that is an hour ago. Oh, I figured. They said that we had some really comfortable temperatures coming this week. So, yeah, I think it's all gonna like weed over this way. Have people started their summer visiting yet, or is that closer to July 4th? We've had a few weed in. The Lakers that all live out of Camp Ritchie Folk. We've had a few of them weeding in, but not a lot. They'll come probably within the next 2 weeks. We'll start seeing the big fancy cars and the Mercedes SUVs and the Lexuses and what are those damn things called? The electric Yeah, Teslas. We'll, we'll start seeing those popping up at our grocery store here within the next couple weeks. You know, parked sideways, taking up two spots so no one can get close to their indestructible truck. I knew what you meant. Yesla, Tesla, Tosla, Explosla, that's on fire slow, whatever you want to call it. Must be nice. Wonder what it's like to not have to worry about bills. I don't know. That's something. If I didn't live up here as a regular, that's something that I would actually look into. Because a lot of these people, believe it or not, and I know every one of us have heard stories of people that do this because they have, you know, money falling out their wazoo. Um, Along about middle of August, they will start looking, some of them, not all of them, some of them close their houses down, winterize them, and go back to Chicago or Memphis or Atlanta or wherever they're coming from. But they'll start looking and interviewing individuals to live in their house and keep it clean and take care of it while they're gone from like, you know, September all the way through till May or June when they come back. So not only are they running a home wherever they come from, but they're running a 20, 30,000, 40,000 square foot home here that's fully operational 12 months out of the year when they're only here 3 or 4 months out of the year. So that's a heck of a gig. I mean, that's a heck of a gig when you think about it. You're getting this great big, you know, $2 or $3 million house to stay in with electric iron gates and everything else, all the amenities to go with it, lakefront property, and you're getting paid to live there and take care of the place. Run the vacuum every day, keep it dusted, take care of all the amenities. It's what my dad used to call having more dollars than sense. Speak of the devil and he strolls in the door. How about that? Good morning, TJ. Good to see you. Hope you're doing good, brother. Hey, how'd you like that? How'd you like that message I sent you last night about the copyright? About 3 hours after I sent that, by the way, they did actually copyright a song that was not yours. You know, for several hours after I posted, well, after I uploaded the video of the beach bash, the only song that got copywritten was "Giddy Up" from you. You know, and I even put in the video that you know, TJ Holton, you know, gave me express permission to use any of his music in any of my videos, and that was "Giddy Up" was the one song out of 3 songs of yours I used. "Giddy Up" was the only one that got copywritten. And then like 11 o'clock last night, they actually copywrote one song that the band done, and that was, you know, "Don't Stop Believing" from Journey. The other 20 songs that I recorded, they didn't copyright. but they got giddy up and they got don't stop. Oh man, you missed winter. Yeah, we've already talked about winter. You know, those things that, you know. Oh wait, we've not talked about tornadoes in Nebraska and Iowa yet, or what is it, South Dakota. They were actually chasing one in Saskatchewan last night. They were chasing a tornado in Canada. Here the last few years, I have noticed some weird shenanigans coming out of the weather. You know, big, dangerous tornadoes in locations where we don't normally have tornadoes. Uh, weird weather patterns. Weird weather patterns. Like, we'll catch something coming across the lake moving directly east, and it'll hit the center of the lake, and you know, you can look at the jet stream and see how the jet stream is moving. These things will just automatically stop and start moving in another direction, going against the jet stream. It's just, it got me worried about, you know, what's happening in the world. And why in the world these things are happening. I kind of, I'll be honest about it, you know, we've had more tornadoes in Michigan in the last 4 years than have been reported in the last decade and a half up here. So yeah, here, thank you. I just released another one an hour ago. I ain't touching it. They want to copyright this stuff. You know, once again, like I said earlier, though, it verified the fact that the automated algorithm that the platform uses does throw out copyrights against people where, you know, I've been watching, you know, like J-Cart Arts and other debunkers and skeptics and stuff on YouTube, and a few of them have got, and this is really funny. There's a deal going on over in Australia right now with a famous psychic medium that only contacts missing children and celebrities. And she was on a current affair in Australia. Well, one debunker done a video on her, and, you know, her weird activities and stuff like that. And then J-Cart done a review on his video, and the girl in Australia copywrote J-Cart. And, you know, she swears up and down she didn't do it, but YouTube says she did do it because YouTube can't issue copyrights. It's up to the person that owns the property. And this just proves that they're lying, because I know you didn't issue a copyright against me for using your song. So I need to get a hold of J-Cart and Side-Eye Guy and Beardo. You know, Beardo Gets Scared, another one of my favorites. And let them know that yes, YouTube can, and their automated system does, issue copyrights against people. So, tornadoes, like, as in Oklahoma had a couple of big tornadoes already this year. Yes. Yes, they have. I mean, nothing that's done any, like, you know, super bad damage like it has in the past decade had a couple bad ones, and we have I got a pretty advanced Doppler system on my phone. I run the NOAA Doppler. I run the NWS Doppler, and I've got a crossover Doppler. And we have watched a couple of those really bad storms come into extreme northwest Indiana and go right underneath the lake and come up. And that was one of them that hit us here a couple months ago. You know, it did a lot of damage in northeast Illinois, northwest Indiana, and as it skimmed the lake kind of sucked a lot of its energy out, but it kept right on going, and then came up and missed us and hit the next big town that way. Used to hold on. Yeah. And just ripped it up. I mean, tore up 2 or 3 of the large stores, ripped the roofs off, blew out all the skylights, took their storage facility, ripped the roof completely off, and parts of the roof landed uptown. So, yeah, it was happening there all along. There's just many more people out looking for it. Now, see, I can agree with that. I can't get on YouTube. I can't get on Instagram. I can't get on TikTok. Mostly YouTube and TikTok, Facebook, without seeing a dozen storm chasers out when it's very, very active. He prefers to stay behind the scenes. Tell him I said he's a weenie. I need you to get a hold of me later. I need to know your setup. I know you don't play with a band. So I need to know how he can take you and run it through his system to actually give a show quality performance. The way the beach bash is growing and stuff. If it's not too much of a hassle to take his equipment and your canary-like voice and your pretty hats and stuff like that, and come to Cassopolis next year. Now, I mean, you know, we have with the new amphitheater seating and stuff they've got in there. You've got flat ground between the amphitheater seating, the dance area, which is in front of the stage, and then the stage. So there's room to run all the cables and everything. And they've got the cross path bumps, what I like to call portable speed bumps, to run all the cables through. You know, for the speakers and the microphone and the lighting and stuff like that. But I was thinking when I was watching Blammo Saturday evening that this would be the perfect place to premiere your first real show and let you do all your songs that way. So, not to mention it, you know, if we could set the right price, then it could be a really good show for you, and get you out there. oddly enough, the storms that hit near me and my town into December. And see, that's another thing is the weird timing of some of the storms. We've had storms, yeah, that have popped up in the not peak tornado season, and that's been very, very weird as well. Didn't realize you got tornadoes in December. I thought they started in the spring. That's just it. They're supposed to. But that's been another thing that's been very weird about our weather the last few years is we get. Have you guys in Australia ever heard of a thunder snow? We actually have storms up here that thunder and lightning during a snowstorm. We call them thunder snows. Your friend is here. Hey Sam, good to see you, bud. Hope you're doing good. Oh, here I got some. I got it. It's a glove, Sam. There's a glove coming to get you. I was going to put them on for you because I don't have fingers on them, so I can still touch everything I need to touch, but I can only find one. I am not going to skeleton Michael Jackson for you today. Canary, like dies first in the mind. Yeah, that kind of canary. Also sings pretty songs. I've never heard of that, but I don't know if they have those up in the house. I'm wearing fingerless gloves at the moment. Yeah, my other ones that I wear, when I do a lot of my investigation and stuff, they've actually got the pads on all the fingers for touchscreen. I think they're in my motorcycle package. December tornadoes are rare, but not unheard of. No, they're not. We had, it was just a few years ago, we had a tornado in Indiana that was like November, middle of November. Definitely not tornado season, by the way. The new song I released this morning is called Raised on Everything. I'll have to give it a listen, bud. I will have to give it a listen when we're done here. Yeah, especially late February. I guess that would not be completely unheard of for a storm to hit 6 or 8 weeks prior to the beginning of the season, but to hit 2 or 3 months after the end of the season. That's very, very weird, but like you said, not unheard of. Drew, why are you showing my hand on I will tell you the same thing I have told you for 5 years, my friend. Eat a hamburger. Eat two. With some onion rings. Because if your hand looks like that, you need to gain weight. You really do. I gotta, speaking of gaining weight, I have to get to, I have a regular doctor's appointment on the 22nd, and I have got to request labs being taken. Um, there's some weird stuff going on down in here, and I'm losing weight. I mean, if y'all can't tell, I'm losing weight a little. You know, it's not as challenging for me. Not hungry. My wife made chicken and mushroom Alfredo last night, and I didn't even get a plate. I got a little saucer and put a couple scoops on there with a spoonful of mushrooms, sauteed mushrooms on top of it, and not even an entire piece of chicken. I took like 4 or 5 pieces from a full piece of chicken, and that was it. I was full. I was full for 4.5 hours, 5 hours after I ate. But I've noticed that a lot of my jeans and stuff, I got to wear suspenders or a belt with them now because they're getting so loose I can pull them right down over my butt. So yeah, definitely, I need to somehow, some way, find a way to get a scale so I can monitor my weight. Because I'm scared when you start losing weight. They say losing weight as you get older is much more challenging than losing weight as a young person. But, I know I've dropped 4 or 5 pounds since the last time I was weighed. So, I can feel it. I'm just, I'm mostly concerned of the big C thing. Big C. Wait, is that the right side? There, no, yeah, that thing. I was talking to my mom. I come to find out that not only does it run in her side of the family, but there have been several cases on my dad's side too, just not for a long time. So, if I find out they give me crappy genetics, I'm going to be very, very angry. Not that I'm worried about dying or anything like that. I mean, I've done it before. It's not that big of a deal. But, yeah, I'm worried about the family through, radiotherapy and medicine and crap that we just can't afford. If something like that happens, I'm going to be like an old dog and just vanish during the night sometime and wander off in the woods. Well, tornadoes are a product of a certain set of weather phenomena that are not so much seasonal. Well, and the way I always understood it, it was a warm layer and a cold layer, and the other elements that location. Um, but when you've got the atmospheric cold that's dropping the snowstorm or whatever the case may be. Um, Now, see, the funny thing is, I've never seen a tornado during a snowstorm. It's always a separate entity. I've never seen one during a snowstorm. I've never seen a snow-nado, pretty much. It was not hard at all. At 60, like it was the first five. Just had a brush-tailed possum pop up in the garden about 5 feet from me. Made me jump. What is it? Hold on. Brush, tail, possum. Common brush possum is widespread nocturnal Australian marsupial known for its adaptability to both wild and urban environments. Often found in trees, sometimes in roof spaces. Looks like a bush baby. Pull up some images here. Looks like a bush baby, y'all. That's kind of cute. I can just hear Drew's dad saying, sorry son, but the condom broke. It ain't like we wanted to. You know, I've been waiting to hear that my whole life. Oops. Damn. Pull out now. But, you know, it's like I've told people in the past. Best part of you ran down your mom's blade. They're cute and can be made friendly. Okay. Maybe it is what I'm thinking about. 'Cause I've seen people with the little bush babies, you know, only about that big, and they hop around your house and stuff. They don't actually walk, they hop. Um, but I know I've seen videos of people um, with a brush-tailed possum. Yes, this usually follows 10 months. Gotcha. incredible when it comes to resistance of snake venom and different diseases. Um, they do not get fleas or ticks because of their chemical makeup and their coarse hair. Um, and even though they're very, very ugly and look very, very evil, the people that have had them have always said that they make excellent pets, and they're sometimes just as loving as a cat is. You know, they want to sleep with you, they want to lounge around, they love to be touched. Uh, they're a very easily adaptable people animal. Those little hoppy guys aren't possums. Can't think of what they are at the moment. Our possums are a protected species. Nearly all of our wildlife is. Um, y'all got some weird things over there. I'll be honest about it. You know, you've got You've got cute little cuddly animals that give you STDs. You have got uh, very dangerous animals that are silent and near invisible. Um, I just seen a video yesterday. Uh, the wife and her aunt that comes over and plays cards usually on Monday morning. She spent the weekend with us, and her and the wife were out on the back deck last night. So I was watching different videos, and I saw a dog in Australia. Um, the little girl was walking across her backyard, and the dog just all of a sudden jumped up off the back porch and ran between the little girl and the rock garden. And I guess it took a strike from some snake. And then the mother ran off the back porch, and she grabbed the little girl and ran back up to the house. And the husband had to come out and pick up the dog, and they had to rush to the vet. The dog made it, but it took some kind of a bite from a snake that would have nailed the little girl. I mean, if she would have taken two more steps forward, that the snake would have got her. Um, but yeah, the dog took the hit instead. Uh, yeah, they just have some weird animals. You know, everybody in America is fascinated with roots. You know, those things are dangerous. Not only have they got that strong tail that they can brace themselves on, but they use their hands and their feet to fight. And they will attack without provocation. It's not like, you know, animals attacking here where, oh, they have a baby nearby or something like that. No, roos will just attack you because they don't like the way you look. I'm going to walk out back and I'm going to water my flowers before the sun gets up all the way. And all of a sudden, here comes a roo out of the side yard. He's kicking the crap out of it. We had a pet raccoon when I was a kid. I have had friends in the reenacting field that have had pet raccoons, pet skunks, and they've walked around with these things just, you know, laying on their shoulder, getting petted by everybody and their brother that comes in and sees them and thinks they're cute. Skunks are another one that they compare to a house cat. You know, they just want love, they love the attention, they love to be hand-fed, they love to be petted and to sleep with you. I know I heard of some place a while ago, a few years, that was having an issue with rabbits. But I don't remember if it was Australia. Cannons. Roos are very dangerous, and the males are aggressive. The big reds are huge and pure muscle. We don't have a major issue with rabbits. I know there's certain locations. I do remember this because I remember seeing a video of this years ago. But I know certain locations in Australia was having a huge problem with dingoes, where they were like moving into populated areas, and they've attacked family pets, they've attacked small children, they've even attacked young adults. But that was years ago. I don't know if they still have the issue or not. Now, I do know that wild dogs were protected for a while, but I believe when they started leaving their natural domain and moving into more urban areas, that they lifted that protective ban. If they were on your property and they were doing damage, or they attacked somebody or something, you could kill them. But I don't know if that's still in effect or not. Australia has too many animals that will kill you, for my taste. Well, and I mean, don't get me wrong, we have our share of them, especially up here. We have black bears that are slowly moving out of their natural environment, coming south. Um, what trails they're following, I have no clue. We've had black bear and cougars that have been sighted in northern Indiana that they said have migrated out of central western Michigan. You're talking about 175, 200 miles that these things are migrating unseen. And don't forget, just here a few years ago when the wife was on her 6-month night shift, when she was going to work just 40 miles northeast of here, and seen a bear out in an open field running. And you're talking 3 hours south by car. And we know a bear don't run 55 or 60, 70 mile an hour. But you're talking about an animal, that weighs 300 or 400 pounds that's traveling 3 hours by car speeds. And she's seen him right here very close to home. Only dingo attacks you hear of now are on Fraser Island in Queensland. My advice, stay off Fraser Island in Queensland. You don't got to worry about dingoes. Oh, if Steve Irwin was still alive. God bless him. He was nuts. That guy was nuttier than squirrel poop. But he could sure make a person smile and make them laugh. It's like I said on, our last stream. I'm looking at one of the most dangerous snakes in the world. If this thing bites a human, they will not even make it back to their car, let alone to a hospital. I'm gonna go pick it up and give it a kiss. I'm gonna go hit it with a stick. Tony, you'd be lucky to see a lot of them in the wild here. I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot as I've spent a lot of time out bush and now live in regional Victoria surrounded by bush and snakes in the summer. This is why I love America. America. Especially someplace like here in Michigan where you can open carry a firearm and you don't need to have it registered. You don't need to be licensed to carry it. But if we go someplace where a dangerous animal is going to attack us, we at least have the right to defend ourselves and protect ourselves and whoever's with us from an impending danger. You go to a lot of places in the world and that just isn't possible. You have to carry a walking stick. And I don't know if you've ever attempted to hit a bear or a mountain lion or a wolf with a stick. And the tendency of either just not responding to it or being so fast and agile, you never even get close to it. Here in central Illinois, there isn't really anything that I have seen that's really dangerous to people. Bear is about the only thing I can think of that you would have in central Illinois. Now down in southern Illinois, I think they have a little bit more. You know, you get closer to the Ohio River, Ohio River, Mississippi. So southwest of it. I think they have a little bit more issue with like mountain lions, wolves, stuff like that. Badgers will make you a believer that there are some fairly big looking cats, but I don't know of any real killers around here. You know what gets me is Michigan is known as the Wolverine state. I don't know if I've ever heard of a Wolverine in Michigan or a badger. We got porcupines. That's some big porcupines. But no aggressive quadruped type animals. I'm glad we've got first aid for our snake bites, and that is what really helps keep you going until you get to the hospital. Check out vermin diaries, venom diaries. They milk snakes and funnel web for anti-venom. How do you milk a funnel web? Like, hold it, stroke it, stick its little fangs. How do you milk a spider? grab them right behind the head. You push their fangs through the canvas to make contact with the side of the collection receptacle, whatever you're using, be it a jar or a bottle of some kind. But, I can understand, milking a snake. I can see that. I've watched it be done. But spider, wow. You don't have any bears? I'll put you a bear. They use a pipette, and the spider is that aggressive. When it rears, it's already got venom dripping, dripping, dripping. Huh. I've only seen a couple pictures and I think one video on a web, so I don't even know how they do their thing. One black passed by here about 5 years ago. Oh, so he was just vacationing. I got you. Maybe he was that scout that goes out and just travels around and looks for new places for him to claim. Kind of like a truck driver that don't really own a house. He just drives around the country and looks for a place. This place would make a nice home base. I think I'll buy a place here. I'll definitely be looking for that video Friday night, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, up from the Beach Bash this weekend. It was a great show. Blammo, always great. I got a lot of really cool close-ups, which I don't know if you guys have seen the rig I had to build. I still have to figure out, hey Debbie, good to see you, love, how are you doing? I had to build my rig to carry my cameras and stuff. But, something else I have to get renewed. I have to get my press pass updated with, our whole Ferocious Feline Studios and my picture and stuff like that. But, yeah, I had to build this rig to carry my lighting and all my cameras and stuff like that. A little bit of a pain in the butt, but hey, it does the job. And the very cool thing, I just take the legs off the bottom of it and I can mount it straight onto my tripod. So because I mean, who has $100 to go out and buy a camera rig? Not I. Audio is too low. Well, do to adjust the sound. So that's something else I've been hoping to be able to pick up since I started making videos is um, a mixing board. They make a very, very small mixing board that will sit like right here in front of the computer that I can yeah, that increase my volume, the quality of the sound and stuff. Hey David, good to see you, bud. Oh yeah, definitely vibration. The fan is like right there, and that's the reason I'm using the microphone today. Is because, you know, my volume is sitting like on my microphone is sitting like, I'm trying to point here, like right here, and the fan is like 10 inches behind it, sitting in front of the open window. So yeah, I tried to stay away from it. Is this thing even still plugged in? Tell you what, let's try something different. We will pull this extender. This has got a smaller port on it than this does, so it might make connection. I'm going to shoot myself in the foot for saying this, but where's the damn hole? There we go. How about that? Does that sound better? There is a fan. Yes, the fan is too loud. I hate fans. Well, sadly enough, it is not hot enough yet to turn on the air, but it's too cold or it's too warm to not have a fan or something on. I came in here this morning, like I said, just a few minutes after 5 and started my coffee, and oh my God, it was sweltering, and there was no way I was going to come in here not wearing a shirt, because I don't want to subject anyone to that. I mean, don't forget, it was just a few years ago, guys, I was 265 pounds. The last time I was at the doctor, I was, 199 pounds, and that was with my boots, my jacket, everything else on. So I'm, yeah, I don't want to subject anybody to the saggage. We can't afford to go to a gym. I have a curl bar and some weights, so I'm working on things as fast as I possibly can. Tony, I saw a black bear with cubs at Mount Whistler in 2002. That was cool. Oh, I think it's absolutely beautiful watching a mother bear with cubs. 9 times out of 10, if you don't take an aggressive stance or you don't try to approach them to get a better camera shot or something like that, they're not going to bother you. 9 times out of 10, you do have that, that 1 time out of 10 where they just don't want a human anywhere around them, and they're going to be very aggressive. But now maybe David knows. He is in the high quality sound thing. David, have you seen those those teeny tiny little mixers. They're only about a foot long, 11, 12 inches long by maybe 6 or 7, maybe 8 inches tall. And you can run your mic and your different sound thing, your different sound quality, or different things to improve your sound quality, and maybe even have some of those little push buttons for sound effects and something like that. Have you seen anything like that out and around for a while? I used to see them all the time, but I don't see them anymore. Learn from a young age to stay away from wildlife. I make sure to keep a very safe distance. Well, and it's funny, if Jan and Jay was in here from JJ's Adventures, they were down in eastern Tennessee or something here a few years ago. And their daughter was walking down the trail in front of them, and she turned around to say something to them. And right before she turned back, a mother bear with, I think, a cub or two cubs walked out on the trail right in front of Ashley. And they froze. She stopped, watched them, let the babies cross, and then crossed on across the trail right in front of them. So, yeah, it's not always an aggression thing, but sometimes it is just not worth the risk. Hell, I fired up the AC 2 weeks ago. We had the AC on. We had the AC on Friday night, and I believe the wife had it on last night. But yeah, this morning it was high 60s. Uh, well, early this morning it was in the high 60s, and like I said, by 7 or by 5 o'clock it was up to 7. So she went on and shut the air off for right now. Uh, of course, it'll probably come back on here in a few hours because we're supposed to be up in the 80s, mid to high 80s, for several days over the next week or so. So, yeah, you need some sort of noise cancellation and move the fan somewhere else. It's on the same cable that your mic boom is mounted to. The booms are sensitive to vibration. Now, see, I wasn't sure running the microphone because, yes, the fan is right behind the platform that my camera is mounted on. But I figured using the microphone, which is not mounted on that same cable, it's actually mounted over here on the cabinet. Um, I figured it would cut down on the vibration and stuff. So I'll tell you what. I'm good for a few minutes. I might make it. I might make it 33 minutes without a fan. Blah, blah. We used to vacation in northern Wisconsin, and there were black bears all over the place, but they never bothered me. Shock mount for the mic would definitely help. Hmm. Well, if you know of a free warehouse, because I really want to improve the quality of the sound and stuff in the videos, my podcast on the other channel, my live streams here. Um, so if you know of a free warehouse or know of anybody who wants to just get rid of sound equipment that can up my game a little bit, let me know. Let me know because I'm always looking. Sadly enough, I'm window shopping, but I'm always looking for ways to improve things. Um, Really hot days here. I wet a towel and wring the excess water, then put it in the freezer or fridge until cold, and put it on my pedestal fan. I've heard of people doing that. Another really good way to do it is if you can get dry ice, to put dry ice in a bucket or something and set it right behind your fan. Um, as that cool vapor comes off the dry ice, um, it'll shoot through your fan. As long as you have enough fans in your house, you can circulate that coolness all the way through your house. Living where I live at, only having one little tiny grocery store in town, smoke, smoke, smoke. Um, Dry ice is not an option for us. I wouldn't even know where to go get dry ice. Myers don't carry it. Walmart don't carry it. I would have no way, no knowledge of even where to get dry ice to try to do that. But I've heard many people talk about using dry ice behind a box fan or something to circulate that coolness to their home. I've been wanting to do this. Um, Blam, blam, blam. And who was the other one? Go back up, 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 go back up. Nope. Let me see here. Shock mounts are pretty cheap, from 10 to 30 at most for that type of mic. Share that is the eye behind the device called a swamp cooler, aside from putting it in the freezer. Cher has been with us, since I met her, what, love? 2 months ago, through the other channel. And she came over here and started being part of our um, live streams, even though it is the middle of the night over home. But she stays up and she watches us. So Cher is officially now a moderator. Only now do I see how loud the fan was. Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's it's a pain. If you'll look in the past couple weeks, uh, both channels, I've released videos, and some of them I have uh, done my my intro or whatever and had a fan going in the background, and it's just, and I mean, there's no way to remove it. Um, another big reason I've been looking for one of those little mixers, because you can remove or you can like turn down levels of background noise and stuff like that. So yeah, yeah, about 2 months ago, and I have an alarm clock set so I don't miss the live. I really look forward to Monday nights. You might look at churches in town for old P equipment. Churches around here, man, don't get rid of nothing. They stick stuff in a storeroom in the basement if somebody happens to donate new equipment. I've actually talked to churches about mixers and uh, new microphones because it's like I showed you earlier on this. Uh, this little microphone has a battery drive on it. Um, it don't help. It doesn't help anything when it comes to sound. Of course, I've got the little dead cat that goes over the microphone um, to help cut down on wind a little bit. But I need a I need a much better microphone. Um, I used to. Is it in here? Yeah. This was the microphone that I used to use for my investigations and stuff, but it does not have the range that I need. When I'm standing back away from the camera. Um, Now, a lot of times, if I'm going to like interview somebody or something, I will take that splitter that I plugged this one here in with a few minutes ago. That way I can plug both microphones into the splitter and have equal sound between the two of them. But yeah, I built that rig. It's like I said earlier. Who has $100 to go out and invent? I mean, especially when you're in our situation where I got fired from my job in November because of my eyes, and now that my eyes, well, now that my one eye's fixed and this one is slowly healing, I live in such a small town that there's just no jobs available. It's summertime now. The kids are out of school. They're going out and taking all the service jobs with food service and stuff like that. Um, if I was completely healed up and could drive, if I could find a vehicle, I could work where the wife works at a casino. But they won't let her and I work the same schedule. So I would have to, what this up until August, until she goes back on days, I would have to work days, and then in August I'd have to go to nights. And um, the only experience that I have in something like that is working security or something, and security don't flip flop like that. You're either hired for days or you're hired for nights. Um, you can't work 6 months doing one thing and 6 months working, and all the other ones are too far away. It wouldn't be worth me even finding a job. I'd be paying for my gas driving an hour and a half one way to go to work. So yeah, um, but yeah, I built that rig um, out of a. Oh, you guys can't see it from there. I had one of those construction lights. You know, the yellow ones. It's got the real bright, long bulb in it, yellow frame and everything. I took the light off and mounted it as a backdrop light on a spare tripod that I had, and that is the frame of the work light. I unbolted it, completely flipped the whole rig around, and then rebolted it back together. And it serves the purpose. Finding the little screws that I need and the mounts for like microphones and cameras and stuff like that. That is an issue. But you know, you do what you can do, what you can do. Um, have a whole microphone collection. I've got Shure, Radio Shack, Audio Technica, Blue Yeti, Rode mics in my collection. Lucky devil. Swamp coolers are a common thing in our desert southwest, or they were a while back. I have a few of those Radio Shack Shure SM58 clones. They are surprisingly good mic. Wow. I see a lot of these mics that these other um, podcasters and stuff use. You know, the box mic that has the cone receiver and you know big fancy things. You know, and this I think I'm the third owner of this rig. I mean, it serves its purpose. You know, if I have other guests, I mean, it comes clear out to here. I like the rig. It's the double. Actually, it's a quad spring. It's got the double springs here and the double springs up here on the two joints to help. And of course, you know, I can go with any configuration on the end up here on the mic mount. So fantastic rejection. Hell, I still have a Radio Shack 700-watt PA. Actually, two 350-watt PAs. Wow, sounds fun. Well, that's cold. Bring this mic cord back up so it's not dangling down. My friend, Ancient Custom, builds all our rigs. The biggest one holds two phone cameras, a digital camcorder, a light and external mic, and 12-volt battery pack that will run everything for hours. That's what I need. We go to so many locations that don't have electricity. That's what I need to really, Jesus God, really help me out is a good battery pack. Um, when we're going to a location that actually has power, I've got a hard box back here with probably 400 feet of extension cords, and I have a power strip that is attaches to the leg on my one tripod, that I can plug everything into, especially if we're going to a location that is famous for draining batteries. I try really, really hard to not utilize batteries. I will run a straight power line and plug everything into that power strip so they can drink all they want to, but never affect the equipment. I bought all that stuff when I was doing the rock band gig. I wanted to be able to do full band practices. So I got all the stuff, including a drum kit. I miss the drums. I'll be honest, I miss the drums. I started playing the drums when I was, oh God, what, 11? Yeah, no, 10. I started playing the drums when I was 10, and played them daily, constantly, all the way up till I was 19. And my school went out and bought a brand new drum set, brand new Zildjians, the whole shebang. And I was the only graduating drummer that year. And they wound up giving me the old set, and I took it home, stripped it down, give it a very, very cool, um, new agey decor, and polyurethane everything, made it look really good. Got new heads for it, polished up the cymbals, and that lasted until I had that drum set. I played with a couple of different little bands. I really enjoyed it. Um, but my first wife um, reminded me constantly that pursuing a music career was not a good way to start a family, and we did not have room for a drum set. So, being the responsible idiot that I was, I sold my drum set. I wound up getting more for it, fixed up the way I had it, than they originally paid for it, and have missed it ever since. Oh, I just missed something there. That was an interesting something. I prefer the Radio Shack mic to the Shure because it has an on-off switch. One mic I have is extremely rare, Radio Shack Rode microphone, which sold for $100 new, but is worth $200 used, and I got it for $30, I think. It's in mint condition. Oh, that's nice. I bought a battery charger power bank for when I take my camera, GoPro, and phone out for the day. It's light and lasts for ages. So I soldered the Shure Elements onto the Shack's body on the main mic I still use. Well, I wish I had room for a drum set. It's funny when you're lucky enough to be able to build your own studio, to do your music or whatever the case may be. It just seems like there's never enough room. You know, I sit and I look at this room since the mother-in-law moved out and got her own place, and I took it over as a studio between racks of reenacting clothes and monitors that still work but were just replaced. Um, my pop up, my my folding tables, chairs, all my paranormal equipment, um, stacks of hats, um, all of this stuff here on the desk. It's not big enough, but it sure did hold a lot when the mother-in-law was in here. But you know, now you walk in my door and you come around the backdrop right here to here. I've got a chair sitting right here for like guests or something to sit in. Um, uh, yeah, not a lot of room here. I have those two PA amps and two 12-band stereo EQs and a 12-track mixing board from 20 years back or so. I play the occasional, which a lot of drummers use small venues. It's a powerful instrument. Hmm, interesting. I joke that I have no rhythm. I'm I'm far too white. um, I refuse to comment on the grounds that the comment choose to make will be taken out of context and could be offensive to some younger viewers and small domesticated pets. Really. And every time I look at that comment, I I I I want to comment to it, and it's taking everything in my power to not comment to it. Really, honestly, truly. I sold or traded off my kit. See, it's a bloody shame because I mentioned to TJ earlier about trying to get him in as a performer at one of our town's beach bashes coming up in the near future, and it's a bloody shame that David lives so far away. Um, just knowing the limited knowledge that I have over David's music. Um, if it was possible to bring the entire rig and set it up on the main stage down here at the beach, um, I think. Well, I mean, we had a performer Saturday during the daytime that done his own mixing and stuff. He did not have a band with him. And he was basically a DJ, but he played all of his own stuff, and he was very good, and the people came out to see it. Just the idea of not sitting around the house and get to go out and enjoy the beach and enjoy the heat and enjoy the beer and enjoy uh, camaraderie. It's pretty cool. And there's 22-24 garage. A kit is ungodly loud. Oh, I bet. Sneak over to my friend Adam's recording studio. He has a few pretty cool drum sets that he lets everyone play with. I just have to reverse the position of the snare and the hi-hat. I love the beach, don't like the sand. You kind of, sort of, honestly can't have one without the other. Well, I mean, you can if you go to a pond or something like that. You just got to deal with mud all the way to the water's edge. But yeah, you guys have crocodiles over there. We don't have any of those in Michigan. So yeah, I would definitely avoid any inland bodies of water um, in Australia, much like I do in, or I used to in, Florida or Georgia or um, Louisiana. Nope. In our original drummer's basement, it was far worse. It was 12 by 24. Good morning, swinging by to the light. Good morning, Squatchy. Hope you're doing good today, bud. You know you are always welcome, even if it's just stopping by and saying hi, brother. I have a special camera called a Zoom Q2N that was specially designed to record bands in stereo. That's cool. Well, the black dude I filled in for his band thought it was the funniest musical joke he ever heard. Up north, we got crocs, but they also swim in the ocean. Years ago in Darwin, a big salty was basking on the beach at the casino. Those saltwater crocs are huge. I could, first time I saw a video of a saltwater croc, it made our crocs and our alligators over here look like monitor lizards. I mean, these things were huge. And see, I'm already an inland living person who is afraid to swim in salt water uh, that, goes up past my ankles because of the weird toothy stuff that will get you if it's daring enough. But to put me in a location where I got to be careful um, in a pond or in a creek or something like that, where I love to fish and where I learned to swim. Where I learned to swim at, the worst thing we had to worry about was a 10-pound bass, maybe a snapping turtle, not an alligator snapper. I mean, we're not talking an alligator snapper, we're talking a snapping turtle. So there's crocs and alligators down in Florida, which is why I completely stayed away from any any small streams or ponds the uh, two times I've been to Florida. Nope, not gonna do it. I will be darned if I'm getting et trying to go fishing or trying to just splash around in the water on a hot day. It ain't happening. Sorry, but I cannot envision an opening showcase in Cassopolis, however the hell it's spelled. You know, I had a hard time doing it too when they first built all this stuff down here. And oh, and by the way, it's Cassopolis. But it's neither here nor there. I had a hard time envisioning stuff like that too. But to see, uh, we have that nice permanent stage down there um, that has built-in lighting and things like that. Uh, to see a DJ with, you know, all the extras, sitting there running his music through and doing his thing. It's actually pretty cool. And then when you have like a band that's playing, it's very cool. I mean, you would never think that this teeny tiny town of 3,000 people would would host events that bring out 5 or 6 thousand people. But hey, the committee wants to pay and wants to pay well because they want people to come back. So, well, guys and gals, it is that time. It is time for me to be like a fat baby and head out. Time for me to be like a tree and leave. Time for me to be like a bunch of birds and get the flock out of here. So that's it for another week. I don't think I have anything coming up here next week, so there's no reason we can't do this again. So until next week, y'all take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. God bless you. God love you. I do. We'll see you in a week. Talk to y'all later.